Urban decay has its roots in businesses leaving the inner city, abandoned buildings, unemployment, the rise of crime and hijacked buildings. This is a worldwide trend and it is no different here on local soil. In the past few decades, we've seen many South African inner cities turning into slums, and Johannesburg, Africa's economic hub, seems to have been hit the hardest. But thanks to financial institutions like Tuhf, who works very closely with government and entrepreneurs, many of these inner city buildings are now being renovated and repurposed into affordable housing schemes.
Tuhf is an inner city property financing institution that provides mortgage finance for inner city property developers who want to create affordable residential accommodation.
Tuhf provides finance to entrepreneurs with passion, potential and integrity for purchasing, converting and refurbishing buildings in the inner cities of South Africa.
We'll have absentee landlords, for example, or they may have been hijacked at some point, and the buildings have really not been maintained. So the lifts might be dysfunctional, windows broken, the plumbing is leaking inside, perhaps power's been cut off by the city because of huge arrears that have been built up over time. And those are the buildings that are dysfunctional and run down. Traditionally, we would look at financing the refurbishment of that kind of building and also conversion of office buildings that can't be used into residential.
Many of these inner city conversions are buildings that was originally zoned for business or industrial purposes and are now being rezoned and reconfigured as high-density, affordable apartment blocks.
What generally happens all over the world is that cities usually go in slumps of urban decline. And what happened in the South African case, Johannesburg being a case in point, that there was a bit of urban decline. And with that came then Tuhf, the main banks and so on, red taped this and did not finance in those places. And there was a need for finance for entrepreneurs who were looking at the place and looking for opportunity to create residential accommodation. And to also address and bring affordable housing to different economic levels.
Reviving inner city slums and turning it into livable and affordable accommodation does not come without its challenges.
What we struggle with is how not to have our clients' buildings become islands in the city, although they do become kind of sort of pockets of excellence. But then once you step outside that building, what happens in the street? And especially in high-density environment, the streets should become part of our living spaces. And in a lot of decaying inner cities, that is quite a challenge. But we do partner with the city often, and we are working with the city to see how we can improve safety, make things more livable outside in the urban environments, and try and create walkable environments for tenants in the buildings.
Through this initiative, many South Africans who could previously only afford to live on the outskirts of the city are now being afforded the opportunity to live closer to work and play, and can therefore play a more prominent role in the economy.
At Tuhf, we believe in local economic growth, that the best kind of growth is spurred from a local level, not from a national level. And we want to support ordinary people to do extraordinary things. We also believe in transformation and inclusive growth as one of the key things that we need to get right in this country to take it forward. And that is by changing the complexion of ownership in our inner cities and crowding in more individuals and assisting entrepreneurs to do extraordinary things.
We met up with an entrepreneur who was funded by Tuhf and who recently completed his first conversion.
So before I actually put in the application, I called them. I said, listen, come out, come look at this building, see if it will be something that you will finance before I waste my time and do a lot of work on it. So this one, they came out, we walked around, we did some research in the area. So this bottom section here was a Nando's, and that there was a Video Town, the bottom one. So what I did was, the Video Towns were obviously not making money, and the Nando's were closed. So I converted the building to a full residential units, 31 residential units. So 1 beds, bachelors, 2 beds.
Tuhf has joined forces with the University of Cape Town to develop a training program for entrepreneurs who are keen to take on the challenge of playing their part in converting and refurbishing buildings in the inner city.
The learnings for me was personally, buy at the right price. Firstly, buy at the right price, do a good feasibility on the area and see if you'll get the rentals that you want. Put a good team together.
The course content is aimed at equipping these entrepreneurs with all the skills that is required to become fully fledged property developers under the continued mentorship of Tuhf.
There is a great need in this country to include and bring people into formal housing. It is a government concern, it's a local government concern, and there's been different approaches on how to deal with that, and that has been new developments from far-flung areas and so on. But we believe in the cities where there's economic opportunities, there is a chance for us to take existing infrastructure, densify it, and put people into those, and get them in touch into economic opportunities.
It has been said that the only constant in life is change. So we can either be naysayers pointing fingers from the fringe, or we can embrace change in our cities, be part of a better South Africa and leave a true legacy.